mastermind. Mari, what you making?
All right, everybody, we got another episode of the radio show ATL, the Aftermath, on the air. You got M16, and we got our homeboy Jimmy from the On The Geaux podcast hanging out with us. Jimmy, what's up, man? Welcome to the Aftermath, man. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here. It's my first interview, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes.
We're excited to have you here, and we're excited to talk to our guest, the lovely and talented Keyona Lashawn. She is a great R&B singer. She's on the way up. She's being mentored by the great, iconic Freddie Jackson. So, Jimmy, what you feel about talking to Keyona?
Man, I'm excited, man. I took a little bit of time to go and listen to her catalog, and she's very talented, extremely talented. And I really just want to know more. Honestly, she's a very intriguing woman, so I really want to know more.
Well, how about we get to know more? Let's bring her in and let's have a conversation.
Let's do it.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
Bruh.
This is that knowledge you can't learn in college right here. Mm-hmm. Little news you can't refuse and hopefully not abuse, you know? We ain't doing nothing here but trying to help folks get their weather together, church. That's it.
Oh, my God.
Kristen, you sound very pimp adjacent, and I like it.
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
Welcome to another episode of the radio show, The Aftermath, all right? And we got the lovely and talented Keyona Lashawn coming out of New Jersey, great singer, hanging out with us. Keyona, thanks for making the time to come on the show. We definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes.
I'm honored to be here.
We're glad to talk to you and, just sort of dive into your career so far, because, you haven't gotten to where you want to get to yet. So we're going to say
exactly.
So all right. So let's start at the top here with, okay, so what started your love for music? So are we talking about a particular song, an album? And then once you found that, when did you discover, okay, not only do I, love doing this, but I'm pretty good at it too?
Right. Well, I don't remember the moment. Well, actually I do. Okay. So my parents tell me that for my grandma's birthday, I sung Happy Birthday. And everybody was like, oh my God, this girl can sing. I was 2. I don't remember that. My first time, performing would be elementary school, kindergarten. We did a little talent show. And I sung Rag Mop. I know you probably don't know that song, but I sung a song called Rag Mop with my class. And I had a solo and everything. And that was the reaction from the crowd kind of shocked me. I'm like, I like this feeling. A certain song that made me fall in love with music, I don't know. I grew up listening to Beyonce, Michael Jackson, I don't know, Whitney. So I can't pinpoint a moment or a song, but I've been doing it since I was little.
Okay.
That's amazing.
It is. So a bunch of different influences,
right.
Cultivate that. And I guess sort of pivoting a little bit. So now you're into what you're doing. So, and speaking about your 211 EP. So yes. in doing that, so what was the creative strategy when putting this together? I mean, was everything written around the same time? Tell us about the process and how you knew this creation matched your vision.
Right. So we started initially putting out just singles. Some of the songs on the EP were previously written, maybe a couple months apart or whatever. I guess Don't Stay, the first song on the EP, kind of triggered the whole vision for the EP. Just the ups and downs of relationships, breakups, love. So the most recent would be Don't Stay. The other ones were kind of spaced apart.
Okay. And then as I guess you started going, it started avalanching, okay, this is good. Let's keep going.
Right.
And next you got a whole project type thing.
Right. So now we're working on putting a single out every month. So I'm actually in the studio now. I'm in the studio now. Yeah, I'm going to release my next single. Is called, actually, I don't even know which one they decided on. I want to put out Lights On. It's very sexy.
Okay.
All right.
It's talking about, doing it with the lights on. You know, treasure in a woman's body. So
I got
we're
you.
working on that one for
Well,
February.
all righty then.
Mhm.
Well, that song got my vote. I ain't heard it yet, but it's got
Oh
my
yeah,
vote.
Right.
it's sexy. It's
Definitely done sold
sexy.
me on that one.
For sure.
Mhm.
All right, so just to
Live
reiterate,
music.
we are talking to the lovely Keyona Lashawn. All right, so she's got her EP out. It's called 211. That's available on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, wherever you get your music. You can follow her on Instagram at Keyona_Lashawn, and her website is KeyonaLashawn.com. Jimmy, you have something for the lovely Keyona Lashawn.
Yes, I do. It's kind of awesome that you brought up, you know, that you get a lot of inspiration from, you know, relationships and things like that. And now your most recent song that you would like to put out, it's very eccentric, right?
Yes.
So yeah, for sure. So how do you you know, pretty much walk the line of, you know, putting your all into your music, but not giving away too much of what goes on in your real life, you know?
Well, as a writer, you know, I get inspiration everywhere. So it starts with me, with my own personal journey, I guess you would say. But I also get inspiration from like friends. You know, I could be walking down the street and see something going on. I'm like, oh, let me write that down real quick. So I get inspiration everywhere. I don't know. I feel like it's good to kind of, you know, tell your own story. So I don't know. Like, I know what you mean by like walking like, the line without, but I think it's good to do that because you're singing from a truthful place. Everything I write about is not going to be me. Like I said, you know, I get inspiration everywhere, but for the most part, I think it's good to kind of dig deep and really pour out your heart into songs, even if I'm writing it for somebody else, you know?
True. Absolutely. And like you say, being that you're able to, you know, keep it as close to you, whenever you're singing it, you actually can put your emotions into it and feel it.
Exactly.
And you can really, you know, take the top off it. So that's great.
Yep. And other people are going to relate to it more too when you're like truthful.
Exactly. You're not faking it.
Mm-hmm.
Not faking it. That's great. That's great. I do have one more question that I would love to ask you. And I don't know if anybody's ever asked this to you this way. Obviously everybody's gonna ask, you know, when, you know, what was the first song that made you fall in love with music? But I want to ask, like, when did music find you? You know, other than you singing for that birthday party, when did you know, like, hey, this is what God has called me to do?
Well, my dad sings. My mom sings too. So I guess it kind of started in church. My dad's a pastor too. I know a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you a bad girl because PKs are bad." That's not true.
That's not true.
So,
No.
So just hearing it in the house, you know, gospel and R&B, jazz, all that stuff. So it started at home.
That's great. Absolutely. And I can definitely tell you well-rounded just from listening to your music. You're 100% well-rounded. So yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
16, back to you, brother.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
I don't think anybody would be outraged by you disliking raisins. Like that's not enough of a staple, like favorite food. Everybody, but like, when the last time you seen somebody eating raisins? Like just a box of raisins. Okay. Hey, when you go to the grocery store and you go down the aisle where the raisins are, that shit is always fully stocked. Always fully stocked. Have you ever seen some raisins outside?
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
Yes, sir. Okay, so Keyona, so I'm sure that you picked up several things from other artists. I mean, that's what happens when you're in, you know, in this type of industry. You know, you take other things from other artists and you borrow them and you make them yours and things like that from artists and peers. But what's something concerning either music or in life that someone said to you that continues to help you to this day?
Okay, so my mentor is Freddie Jackson. You Are My Lady. I don't know if you guys know Freddie.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug. Okay.
I'm pretty sure some of the people that's gonna watch this was probably made to some Freddie Jackson records. You know,
that's true. I might have been too.
Absolutely.
But he told me to be true to myself. You know, don't trust myself, because in this industry, a lot of people are pulling and telling you to do this, do that. You know, stay true to you and trust your gut. And I hold on to that every day. You know, even with this interview, I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. And he's like, nah, just feel like be you. Like, you know, they asked you because of who you are. So be yourself. So I hold on to that in everything that I do.
No, that's real. He was right, because that's what we wanted. We wanted you to be you.
Right.
That's why we talked to you, because
Right.
you know, you were bringing something out, and we wanted to, you know, dive deeper into that. So
Absolutely.
in saying that, you know, you being a artist or performer, you know, you're recording or you performing live on stage. So do you have a preference of, you know, like studio recording in that process, or do you enjoy live on stage more and that more up close interaction with people when you're?
That's a good question. I love both. I'm gonna tell you why. So studio I love because that's where you're creating. You know, that's when you're coming up with, how do I want to sing this? How do I, you know, what word do I want to say to get this point across? So I'm able to like just, you know, really dig deep and do whatever I want to do. On stage, of course I love like you know, you feed off the audience.
Yep.
You know, when they're like screaming, you're like, okay, I'm doing good. Let me keep going. So they both, I feel like they're equal.
Okay, I can see that.
If that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, you told the line on that one, but you can love both for different reasons. But she told the line on that.
I mean, that's just some of the reasons, you know.
Some of them. All right.
Yeah.
So
you got the band. It's a different feeling. It's the energy, you know.
That's true.
The studio is more laid back. You're just doing whatever you want to do.
So Jimmy, I had one other thing before I pass it back to you. When you mentioned to Keyona about, you know, performing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were at this little place, the Apollo.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, it's a little place. Huh?
You know.
And that's what I mean when I say energy. That place, like, it just has, like, soon as you walk in the building, it just has like this, the best word I could say is energy, you know, like, and even on stage, like, I don't know, it's just like you're pulling from everybody that's ever been there. I can't explain it. It's like a crazy feeling.
Yeah, but you got up there and you killed it. It's like you walked up there like you own the place, you know? You got up there and like, look, I got this. Whatever happened, gonna happen, but I'm about to do my thing up there, and it came across.
Seriously, when I rubbed that little tree stuff.
Yep. Because the Sandman did not come for you. They did not send the Sandman for you.
No, he didn't. No, not that day.
All right. So the person that they did not send the Sandman for, that is Keyona Lashawn. All right. Her EP 211 is available on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, or wherever you get your music. Follow her on Instagram at Keyona_Lashawn. Information is right there on the screen for you. And her website is KeyonaLashawn.com. Jimmy, I know you have something else for Keyona.
Yes, absolutely. I think one of the things that a lot of people, they'll look at artists and they'll say, oh, it must be nice to do this or do that or live that life. But how do you find yourself? How do you get yourself the energy to pick yourself up on the days you don't feel like going to the studio?
And that's a lot of days. Well, not the studio per se, not the studio,
not the studio,
but more like just the music business.
Right.
You get a lot of no's, you know, then you get a lot of people saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this for you. It's hard, you know, but I love it, you know? So it's easy to pick myself up and just keep doing what I love to do. It doesn't feel like work. It's fun, you know, and I love it. Even if I was just singing for, I don't know, 2 people, like I love it. So that's how I pull myself up every day and continue on this hard journey.
she gotta stress that out. This hard journey.
Oh yeah, hard.
So I did see on your website that you also write for other artists as well.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about that? How has that helped your journey as well, being able to write for other artists?
Right. So I don't know if you guys know Melody Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville. We just did Cloud 9 for her. It came out, I guess, like 2 days before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun journey. It's fun writing for other people, you know? It's fun. Whether they're telling you their story or, like I said, you know, I get a chance to maybe slip my own stuff in there and I don't have to tell my story. I let somebody else tell it.
Tell it right.
Yep.
But with that situation, it helps you because, like, even I just did a song for Freddie. So, you know, with those credits, it does open up many more doors that I might not have been able to get in myself. you know? So that's how it's been helping me. You know, if he mentions my name, it's like, oh, well, who's that? What else did she do? Oh, she did that too? Oh, well, maybe we should bring her to come, you know, I'm doing some movie stuff. Like, so all that stuff helps. All that stuff helps.
Absolutely. Do you ever find yourself being, I guess when you're writing a song, let's say you know that this song, I'm writing this song for someone else. Do you ever find yourself being a little bit more vulnerable when you know it won't be you performing that song?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. They're like, I could dig a little deeper, okay?
But it depends too, because if the person's coming to you and they're like, oh, I want to talk about like a certain thing that they're going through, you know, then I can't do that. But if, you know, look, I've been blessed that in most situations, I just have like full control to write what I want to write. So
that's great. It sounds like it's great when they come to you with a blank canvas rather than a subject, verb, and predicate, you know?
Yep.
So perfect.
Oh, yeah.
That's perfect. Thank you. Back to you, 16.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
And then Zeno's gonna talk real fast about something that Rachel Maddow talked about, which is called elimination redirect. So
no, eliminationist rhetoric.
You're listening to The Radio Show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right, so Ken, I got a couple of more here for you. I don't know if Jimmy had any more, but I got a couple of more here for you. And then we got this little question game that we do to open up, I guess, even more, having a little bit more fun.
Oh, Lord.
So for you. But just getting back into you here for a second. So, you know, we talked about, you know, your mindset, your process and things like that. But when people listen to you, what do you want their biggest takeaway to be? Like, I know that I had some people listen to your stuff and they're like, wow, her voice is like silk. It's like,
oh, wow,
she can go, which is true. You can.
Absolutely.
So is it your voice, the lyrics, your presentation? Can you sort of speak to what do you want? What would you like that thing to take away from for other people?
My message is just love, you know, whether it's like
with the lights on.
Well, that's a different kind. That's more less.
Yeah, that ain't no love right there, boy.
But it's mainly love, you know, whether it's helping somebody get picked up from a breakup, you know, when I say picked up, I mean like their feelings, like pick them up, you know, let them know that it's going to be okay. You're not the only person that's been through this. You're going to get through it. So it could be that, or I have a song called Falling in Love, which was my first single that came out. And, you know, that just, I wrote that more so about what I want from love, but my message is overall is love. And that song could be for your love for your child, you know, your love for wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is.
Fellas, if y'all paying close attention, she just gave y'all the playbook, okay? She said she wrote that song for what she want love to be. Go listen to that. She gave the playbook now.
Our free game, so make sure and pick that up.
Go listen.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
All right, so I was gonna ask you, you know, being that kind of like your catalog of music, you can tell it comes from different eras, you know, that you pull inspiration from different eras. But if you had to listen to one era of music for the rest of your life,
I can tell you right now.
Does it start with a 9?
Oh, yes, it does.
Yes, Lord.
How did you know? How did you know?
It was the best.
Absolutely.
The absolute best.
Sure.
The absolute best.
You can hear it in my music. That's my inspiration right there.
Exactly. What do you enjoy most about that 90s era music?
Oh my goodness. Just first of all, they could really sing. No disrespect to nobody now, because the girls now are killing too. We got Jasmine, we got her, they killing. But no, it was just that emotion, that even like just everything. Everything. I love it.
Everything. I will say this, nowadays, one artist that really gives me that 90s vibe is SZA. I love SZA. Oh my God.
Okay, she's a Jersey girl too.
100%.
Jimmy, you a little more than love. Jimmy said that if something was to happen to her, we'd have to go find her, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like 100%.
What if she was in the fire?
I mean, man, look, I got some FR clothing, so we're gonna be able to get out. Lord. You dig?
So he got to rush in and go make sure everything is everything.
Got to.
Goodness. What else? Like, what about Jasmine? Her?
Oh no, absolutely.
Coco Jones.
100%. Love it. I think I
feel like they're bringing it back.
Yeah, they definitely bring it back. Her is definitely probably one of the ones that sits in that upper echelon for sure.
For
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, it's a few of them that have sort of that feel of it too. There's this well, I like that group, The Internet, but they also had this guy. He's kind of, I'm not gonna say under the radar, but this guy named Riley Ritchie, he's really good too. They kind of have a throwback. He did a EP with The Internet that's really good. It's called Black and Blue. So if you ever want to feel for that, you can go search that. It's short and to the point.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it gets 16 stamp of approval, and I'm a hard critic, so yeah.
That's good. That's good to know.
One last thing here, and then like I said, we'll get into our question game here. So we talked about a lot of information, concerning your EP, all that stuff. And we want to make sure that people can find what you're doing. So do you have any upcoming projects, any social media we missed? Just anything that you want to give voice to that we may not have given time to while we were talking?
No, I think you guys touched on everything. Like I said, I'm going to have a single that's going to drop every month this year. So be looking out for that. It's preferably the first. I kind of missed the first this go around, but so I don't have a date for you for this month, but after this month, it will be the first of every month.
Okay.
It's going to be different. Everything's going to be different. It's not like I got some up-tempo, which I know you guys haven't heard a lot of up-tempo from me or at all, really.
Right,
so I have
right.
Some ups. Get y'all dancing a little bit.
Nice.
I got a country record that I really don't want to keep for myself.
Oh, okay.
I would like to get somebody to maybe duet with me, but if not, I definitely want to sell it if I can't find anybody.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Got some country stuff, a little mixture.
All right. So we're learning some stuff here, and just to let folks know that if we are so gracious or so blessed to do that, we'll also be playing some of those records on the radio show ATL. Whenever we get the chance, make sure to put that out there for Keyona, because she's mega talented, and we're glad to have her here.
Thank you.
All right. You are now listening to The Radio Show.
But I'm taking this opportunity to say that Drew Brees has gone from New Orleans, that it needs to be said that everybody from Louisiana is not a Katrina victim. Stop asking people who are from Louisiana every time we mention it, hey, are you a victim of Katrina? We're all not Katrina victims, okay? Do you understand me? Some of us were here beforehand. We're not refugees. We pay taxes.
You're listening to The Radio Show on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
So, Keyona, we've been talking. Like I said, we've gotten into your career and all that stuff. So now,
I'm scared about these questions.
It's time.
This is good.
So we got this little thing we do with our guests. All right, it's called Don't At Me. All right, and how Don't At Me works is that I ask you a few rapid fire questions, and it's basically like if we on Instagram and you got your opinion about something. Like somebody say, hey, which do you prefer, Coke or Pepsi? And you be like, oh, it's Coke. Don't at me. So you just give your answer and say, don't at me. That's like saying, look, that's my opinion. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
Judgment-free zone.
Oh gosh.
All right. So Keyona, let's get into the first one here. All right. So you're watching a movie. Would you prefer that movie to be under 2 hours or over 2 hours?
Under, for sure. Don't at me.
Right.
For sure, under.
So no Avengers for Keyona. She like, yo, let me get 90 minutes about you. That's it.
Hey, Disney just put Black Panther 2 on Disney Plus, so I mean it's like almost a 3-hour movie. So
that's a little different.
That's a little different. Okay, I'm just seeing we got wild cards.
That's for the culture right there. So it's all good.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so Jimmy, what about you? So you watching a movie under 2 hours or over 2 hours?
Man, I need 2 hours. I need over 2 hours, bro. I need over 2 hours. I'm like one of those people. I'm like, when I taste my wine, I like really taste it. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like that with movies.
All right.
I want to take it all in.
All right, cool. Let me see. For me, you know what? I'm okay with the over 2 hours, but the movie got to be good. Like you can't be having it drag along 2+ hours and I'm just sitting there. Yeah. If I'm at the movies and I'm on like that second tub of popcorn, we got problems. Like
absolutely.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right. So Keyona, let's get to the next one here. All right. What is a restaurant that you personally believe is mid, but other people just love?
That's a good question. I don't know. I might need a second.
we could we could swing back to you. We can see what Jimmy is saying. We can come back to you.
Man,
Jimmy,
I'm gonna be honest. Man? It's gonna have to be Ruth's Chris for me.
Okay.
It's gonna have to be.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the food it's all right, but it ain't worth $100 for no damn steak. So, nah. I've had better steak at Longhorn Steakhouse. So yeah, it's mid.
Okay. What's the restaurant? Well, I ranted about this.
Don't add me. Don't add me.
Right.
I ranted about this on a previous episode, and I don't know if this counts as a restaurant per se, but I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. White Castle is mid. Okay. People are in love with White Castle, and I don't understand it. I'm gonna censor myself because we got Keyona here, but I'm gonna just keep it at it's White Castle. Don't act. All right, Keyona, what's yours? A restaurant that you did?
White Castles.
Yeah.
No.
I knew this was coming because
No.
Good and terrible.
Lord have mercy.
White Castles is good.
No, it's so.
Yes, it is.
It's so pedestrian.
I mean, I don't know if you would consider it a restaurant, and I know people are gonna be mad, but Starbucks.
Ooh.
Their coffee is like too strong. I'm gonna have to say Starbucks. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. And I wouldn't dare ask you on that because that's not the game.
Say it again.
I said I wouldn't dare ask you on that because that's not the game.
So you want a restaurant. But
no.
you said White Castle.
And that's your, no, I was saying
fast food.
You can say whatever you want. I can't ask you on it. That's the game. So if you say Starbucks,
okay, I got you.
Yeah, if you say it's Starbucks, it's Starbucks. It is what it is.
It's Starbucks. I'm sorry, y'all, because I know people like Starbucks.
They do. Folks love Starbucks. All right, Keyona, here's the next one here. All right. So when you pay a bill online, do you screenshot the payment confirmation? Yes or no?
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
I think this is like
y'all ain't about to get me.
This might be universal on this one, Jimmy. Man, you paying that bill online? You screenshotting that payment confirmation?
Bro, absolutely. I even screenshot that they say they're gonna email me one too.
Yeah.
I promise you, because if I don't get the email and you come at me about something, like, look, I got backups on top of backups. You did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you ain't getting it twice.
And they still try to get over. And be like, "Oh, you owed it."
No, you could tell them don't at me because you're not getting another dime. That's how that works. So yes, do I take a screenshot? Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, in my Google Photos, I got an entire folder dedicated to putting them in there. Oh, you want the history? Got it right here. Bro. Got it right here. Don't at me. All right. You got two more here for you.
Okay.
All right. So most people using a card nowadays, but if you need cash, do you use the drive-up ATM or do you walk up?
I walk up.
Okay. All right.
I mean, mainly because the banks here, they don't really have that. So
okay.
I have to. I don't have a choice.
All right.
If I had a choice, I would drive up.
Okay, so it's like it make it that way. All right, I can see that. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm definitely driving up. I'm driving up. COVID actually just reinforced my laziness, so I'm just driving up.
He said he just reinforced the laziness. I wrote down this question. I made up this question. I'm like, if I need cash, you probably catch me going in the store and go and get cash back. Like to buy an item, like I buy some gum and then just get some cash from there. But if I had to use the ATM, I usually just walk up because the line is not as long because you got folks you got folks like Jimmy who like, I ain't getting out. So the line is for you to walk through there. All right. So that's what I do. Don't at me. All right. So Keyona, we got the last one here for you. So we had talked about movies before. So now we talk about Netflix. So you were watching Netflix. Is that with captions or without captions?
Without captions. Absolutely. I'm not about to sit there and have the words going across. Not doing that. Not doing that. I didn't even watch that one. What's that one movie? I can't remember the name of it. It's like Asian movie that was in the movie theaters not too long ago. It was about a family. You guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
And it had captions on it. I fell asleep. I don't
recall.
I heard it was good.
You said you heard it was good, but
I heard it was good. I just could not. I could not.
It was so good. Jimmy, check this out. It was so good that she cannot remember the name of it. All right. So yeah, we can't ask you on that. If you
we ain't gonna do it like that.
That's the game. Jimmy, what about you, man? Netflix captions without captions?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, without captions, and I've gotten to the point like I'll watch like Narcos. I would need the captions, but because I don't want to read while I'm watching, I turn them off. And I just go on facial expressions and what's happening. Like, I'm serious. I'm not doing it.
Nah, okay, so I'm in a battle with this because, and this is especially with my oldest daughter who watches everything with captions on. She's like, well, sometimes I just can't hear and I just got used to watching them with it. But my thing is that if I want to read, I'll read. I want to watch. I don't want to read while I'm watching. So it's definitely without captions on anything if I can help it. On anything. I don't want to read. I want to look because I'm distracted. I'm looking at the screen trying to read what they're saying, even though I can hear it. So it's definitely without captions. Don't at me on that. So yeah, I mean, well, so
you don't watch like anime or anything like that? Because I know anime has a lot of.
I do. I don't mind it if it's in the context of if they're trying to translate something for me, but just have them on so I could get the dialogue.
Right.
Yeah. No thanks. But I'll tell you one thing that I'm not going to say no thank you to. I want to say thank you to, and that is Keyona Lashawn playing Don't At Me with us here on the Aftermath. She did a great job with that. So we definitely appreciate it. Yes, for sure.
Fun.
All right.
Like you had me worried.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to The Radio Show. There is only one radio show, and this is it.
You're listening to The Radio Show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
I was like, what's this game? Y'all about to get me in trouble.
No. Just, open you up a little bit more with that. So, Kat, I just want to say that it's been a pleasure talking to you. You know, we've been trying to work this out for a minute to, have you come on the show. You're definitely somebody who's on their way up. Your EP, your voice, you got things going in the right direction. So just to reiterate one more time. So she has her EP out. It's right on the screen there for you to see. And it'll be in the podcast description as well. So her EP is it's called 211. It's available on Spotify, Apple Music Tidal, wherever you get music, Amazon, wherever you get music, you can find 211 on there. You follow her on Instagram at Keyona_Lashawn, and the website is KeyonaLashawn.com. And I just wanted to throw this in here, Keyona. Is the name the name 211? Is that because that's the code word, for
That's my birthday.
Is that for like you? Oh, it's 211. So you out here stealing people's hearts on 211. That's what we do.
That's my birthday, February 11th.
Happy early birthday. Happy early birthday.
It's coming soon.
Thank you. Yes, it is.
For sure. Oh, wait. You're an Aquarius, right?
Yes, I am.
Water gang, stand up. I love it. I love it, bro. I'm an Aquarius as well, so I love it.
What day is yours?
January 30th. So my birthday just passed.
Just passed. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Nice. So we got one coming up, one that just passed, and So
and when's yours?
Oh, it's July. I got a ways to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaliyah?
Yep.
Okay. Bossy.
I don't know. Am I, Jimmy? Am I bossy? You tell me.
I feel like you might be because Leo's is bossy. The ones I know.
I ain't gonna at you, bro. I know we ain't playing a game, but I ain't gonna at you. You did.
That means I might be a little bit. It's all right. You're coming from a good place. But somebody else who's coming from a good place is Miss Keyona Lashawn. Great singer, songwriter. We just wish you nothing but success in the future. And we look forward to further conversations with you in the future.
Absolutely. I'm a friend of the show now. So let me know. I'm coming on whenever.
Love it.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you. For sure.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
Yeah, so let me just go ahead and just put this out there and own it. I am one of those parents. I have been guilty of dropping mine off one day with a very questionable temperature. And by the time I got to my office, they was like, quit playing, come pick her up. So, from my understanding, that is not going to fly this time. Before that kid gets out the car good, they're going to have been temperature checked. Oh, don't. You call it what you want to, but I've had to get some work done. I was like, look, mama just needs you to make it through about the first 2 classes, and then I'll come back and get you. But I just need you to go for a minute.
I am so dead. She knew that she was going to get the phone call. She said, baby, just make it through second period, okay?
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right, Jimmy, we're back here on the Aftermath. We just got done talking to great singer Keyona Lashawn. She was super interesting. You know, she had a lot of game to drop on people about the industry and everything. So what was your takeaway from the conversation that we had with her?
Man, the biggest thing I have a takeaway from speaking with Miss Lashawn was she's a real person, you know, an artist that's, you know, working with some really high up people, you know, like her mentor, Freddie Jackson. But she's, at the end of the day, at her core, she's a real person, and she cares, and she loves what she does. And I think she's someone that we all need to keep an eye on, because she's extremely talented, and she's a, you know, really good spirit. So you can tell just from talking to her. I loved it.
Yeah, you can. And we want to make sure that the people out here who are going to listen and watch this can check her out. So please check out her EP. It's available on all the streaming platforms. The EP is called 211. It's available on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer. Wherever you get your music, you can find her there. You can see the information right there on the screen. Follow her on Instagram at Keyona_Lashawn. And she has her website, which is KeyonaLashawn.com. All the information is right there. Give her a like, a follow, a listen. All of it counts. All of it means something. So any support is greatly appreciated. All right, so if we're going to swing that over as far as support, we're going to go with my man Jimmy here. He's on the On The Geaux podcast. All right, he got, you know, the crew there, Christian, you know, Tyler, Easy is on there as well, talking sports. There's the information for On The Geaux on the screen right there. Make sure and check them out. The information will be in the podcast description. Jimmy, do you know anything that y'all going to be talking about coming up soon in the next couple of weeks?
Man, as a matter of fact, we got a really dope episode that's probably going to drop within the next week or so. We're going to be talking about the impact of women in the NFL, you know, in sports agency and things like that. So we're going to give women their flowers. And I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Okay, definitely looking forward to checking that out. So make sure you get an On The Geaux podcast. The same thing, a like, a follow, a listen. It all counts, and we definitely appreciate the support for them. Now, to round this out, concerning the radio show ATL, if you want to be a guest on the radio show ATL, just send us an email, the radio show inbox at gmail.com, or you can send us a text, 678-800-1677. We definitely look forward to hearing from you. So again, much thanks to Keyona Lashawn for being an excellent guest. We love talking to her. Make sure and check out her music. She's fantastic. Give a shout out to my man Jimmy for coming through, hanging out on the Aftermath, man. Love having you. Keep coming back all the time.
Absolutely.
All right. So for 2023, we're just going to keep dropping this heat all the time, every time. All right. So we appreciate the support. Thank everybody for listening and watching. And we'll catch y'all next time.